Fitness friends, let's break down kip swing. I'm gonna first show you what it looks like, then break down the proper mechanics, and finally show you the most common mistakes I see people make. First of all, let's see what she looks like. It is a more advanced movement, my friends. Recommendation, you don't try this unless you can hold yourself for a good 30 seconds on a bar. It may look like I'm swinging around, but there is a lot of control that goes into being able to do this properly. The movement itself comes from the shoulder joint. That's where we pivot from. So I want to think, how do we come forward? You pull yourself forward by pulling on the bar in this orientation. The bar is at a fixed point, so it won't move. So your chest will go forward. To come back, we do the opposite. We press on the bar in this motion, and that will cause the torso to go backwards. Pull, press, pull, press. Now, most two common mistakes I see, instead of people going from the shoulder joint, they go from the elbow joint. Next, legs swing you around. And you may have control of your momentum, but are you truly controlling your kip swing intentionally? This is what both of those look like. If we're doing it correctly, you're gonna see my elbows are gonna be nice and stiff, nice and long. What I see people do all the time is this. See how when I go forward, my elbows are bending? That is putting a huge strain on them. It's not designed to be done that way. We gotta find proper mechanics, move from the shoulders. Next, the legs just going too hard. Specifically, just doing a small kip swing, learning how to control the motion. If you're here, if you see more of a leg kick, and then you're here, overall, having the ability to control that's good, but I see that more as you're just controlling your momentum over controlling and mastering the movement. Can you actually make it a small, controlled exercise? You learn how to be small and controlled in your kip, it's gonna get easier when you put more force into it and try to do a bigger motion. Hopefully that was helpful. Try it in your next workout. Fitness friends, let's break down our barbell curls. First, I'm gonna show you what she looks like, proper mechanics, and then break down the most common mistakes I see people make. So, make sure we line up the grip evenly. See people all the time grab unevenly on the barbell. Measure out that grip, make sure we're even. Boom, to boom. So, what we want to see, elbows are drawn back, and we want to keep them there the whole time. See how the bar only comes to the chest? That's what we want to see. One of the most common mistakes I see people make is the bar will come all the way up to the neck. And it's now because if you look at my elbows, look how far forward they are. I'm no longer isolating my bicep, my entire arm, my shoulder is helping move the weight because my entire arm is moving forward. Keep the elbows back and find control in that motion. And honestly, the biggest mistake people make is they just go too heavy, and that's why they make those adjustments. They can't move the weight unless they lean backwards or unless they bring the arms forward. So make sure you're using a weight where you can be still and have a good clean curl. Maybe your last rep or two, you get that little lean to finish out because you're so tired. But overall, we should be standing still, upright, and have a controlled motion. Fitness friends, let's break down a pausing push-up, a holding push-up at the bottom. So it looks like this, and we'll break down proper mechanics and go over most common mistakes I see. So we're looking to hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, push up with control. Mechanically, you want to keep those elbows close to the body. We don't want the elbows to flare out wide as you go down. Use the elbows to hug the body. That's going to activate your triceps more and help you build a little bit more strength. It may be harder at the beginning to do it that way because your triceps aren't that strong, you're not used to using them, but that's probably why you're not getting better at push-ups. Now, most common mistakes that I see people make, they're not ready for that, they're not strong enough for a full body weight push-up. Modify. Find yourself a box, get a little assistance. The higher your hands are off the floor will make this easier. So if you need to get some 20 inches, 24 inches, 30 inches off the floor, to do it properly, that's gonna be more effective than doing a shitty push-up on the ground. If we're here, we do see a lot of mistakes though when people do incline push-ups. This is what we wanna see. Nice straight body, holding for 4 seconds, hovering just off the edge, and pushing up. 2 of the mistakes I see. If we look at my hips, when people go down, the butt stays back, and most people don't do this intentionally. It's just if you don't have the strength to lower yourself with this straight body, your body will not intentionally, will do this without even meaning, because it's easier to do. It takes less strength to do it that way. So that's the biggest focus, is making sure we're at an angle where we don't have to break that straight line of the body. If you can't stand and find something tall enough, you can do the same thing from your knees. Fitness friends, we're gonna break down a posterior oblique swing using a cable machine and a single dumbbell for this exercise. There's a lot going on. First, I'll show you what it looks like, mechanics of it, and the mistakes I see people make, ways you can work your way into this motion. So first of all, she looks like this. I know, there's a lot going on, but having the ability to control a motion like that is important. You're working on coordination, timing, balance, strength. There's a lot that goes into doing this properly. Now, let's make it simple, right? First, I would just practice this motion, right? Don't even worry about the cable. Start with the weight up. As you release the weight backwards, we hinge forward a bit, loading up the hamstring here. Then we just stand and curl. Boom. Once this feels natural and clean, you don't have to think about it any longer. Now we add the cable portion. We start both up. Think, as you're standing up, both arms bent. As you go down, both arms go long. Once again, what we're looking for, as you hinge, go back here, we should have nice tension here in the hamstring. We stand with power, pulling the hips forward, get a nice curl, a little hold, and release, and fire. Release, and fire. Take your time with it, be patient, but give it a try. Fitness friends, let's break down a Cossack squat. Now it's a very advanced level squat, so you want to take your time working into this. I never do a round body weight until I have a round warmed up where I have some assistance. So let's break down what that movement looks like, mechanics, and then some do's and don'ts, right? So positionally, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the hamstring to connect with the calf. That's the full range of motion that we're looking for. Opposite legs, some people are different. I find it more comfortable with this leg, the toe go up to the ceiling. Other people can keep that foot flat to the floor as they go through this. I find that a little difficult. My mobility doesn't allow it. So I let the toe roll up. So most common mistake I see people make is they try to go to a level they're not ready for. If you're not ready to sit down that low, don't force it. If you need to start off by just going to here and coming up, that's perfect. And we can work over time to get lower and lower. What we want to see is we want this heel to stay on the ground. I see all the time this motion. See how my heel is coming up off the floor? When people squat, they put their weight into their toes. If you do that, the heel comes up. We need to exaggerate, put the weight into the back side portion of the heel here. That's gonna keep you in a proper position. And then once you're warmed up and you've gotten stronger this movement, you don't need the TRX. You can do it without. Just take some time and a lot of practice to be able to sit down in that position.